New entries to the Battlestar Galactica franchise are coming to the big and small screen in the form of a brand new film from Universal and a television series to premiere on the streaming service Peacock. While these new installments are still in their early stages of production, there has been an update regarding the status of the film's schedule, which provided a clarification regarding the connection between these different productions. In this video, I'd like to discuss this newest update and what this could mean for the future of the Battlestar Galactica franchise. NBC Universal first announced their intention to create a new Battlestar Galactica series back in 2019, with Mr. Robot and Homecoming executive producer Sam Esmail attached to produce this ambitious project. Michael Leslie was originally set to write for the series, but has since left for another project. There has been no replacement announced at the time of this video, so for the time being it appears production on the series is at a standstill. In regards to the upcoming film, it has been in development for much longer, as plans for a new movie were first announced as far back as 2009, with X-Men producer Bryan Singer originally set to direct. In 2017, however, a deal was officially struck between Universal and Dylan Clark to produce the new Battlestar Galactica movie. Simon Kinberg, writer and producer of several X-Men films, was announced back in 2020 as the writer and producer for this highly anticipated project. Though he's worked as a director before, there were no stated plans for him to do so for this film. In an official statement after this announcement, Kinberg said, quote, "Battlestar Galactica is one of the holy grails in science fiction, and I couldn't be more excited about bringing something new to the franchise, while honoring what's made it so iconic and enduring. I'm so grateful that Dylan and my partners at Universal have trusted me with this incredible universe." Since then, updates have been scarce. However, in a recent interview with Collider to promote his latest film, The 355, Kinberg was asked about the status of the film and confirmed that it was indeed moving forward and that he was done with the second draft of the script.
We are in the process of going out to directors, and the hope is to attach a director and start prepping the movie this year. It's a Megillah, humongous film, and the prep will be a very long prep period. So I would imagine even if we attach a director today, it would take 6-9 months to prep this movie properly. So at the earliest, we'd be shooting at the end of this year. We'd probably be shooting at the beginning of next year. Time will tell who the director is.
Kinberg did reveal a lot about where they're at with production, which gives us a better idea of when we can expect this film to premiere. As he stated, he's completed the second draft of the script and is in the process of scouting for directors. Since he speculated that shooting would be at its earliest at the end of this year, it is certainly an indicator that it's still quite a ways off. At this time, it's unclear if the film or series will premiere first. In regards to the relationship between these two producers and whether there is any connection between these two Battlestar Galactica projects, Kinberg elaborated on that as well.
In terms of the situation with Sam and the show, I can't say too much about it other than there is synergy between the two enterprises and constant communication between us. We've become close and been having a really good time together. And there will be, for lack of a better phrase, and it's an overused phrase, a shared universe.
The topic of shared universes has been cropping up more and more frequently in recent years, especially in connection with the superhero genre. His careful phrasing is intriguing, considering early reports regarding these two different productions indicated that they were not intended to be connected to each other. However, the constant communication between Kinberg and Esmail provides evidence of a deeper connection that's contrary to those earlier reports. Considering the producer's reluctance to use the term shared universe, I wonder if the two projects will simply not coincide or contradict in the sense that they will be covering different points in the Battlestar Galactica timeline, far removed from each other in that sense, but still technically coexisting. Sam Esmail has already confirmed that his series on Peacock is not a reboot of Ronald D. Moore's reimagined Battlestar Galactica show, saying, "Why mess with perfection?" and commenting on the richness of the mythology and how much there was to pick from and explore. Simon Kinberg, in this most recent interview, echoes a similar sentiment in regards to his own contribution to this franchise when asked if his film would connect to the earlier reimagined series. Kinberg prefaced his response by saying that was a hard question he wasn't sure he was allowed to answer. However, he did say this:
There are connections, but it is certainly not simply a continuation or a remake of Ron Moore's masterpiece.
Because he's being purposely vague, it's hard to know exactly what he means by "it's not simply a continuation or remake," but it is clear that he holds the same reverence as Sam Esmail for Moore's valued contribution to this franchise and is not interested in replacing or rebooting his masterpiece. I will be impressed if both entries can manage to craft new and compelling stories from lore previously unexplored. Most people these days groan at the term reboot simply because it has become so overused, highlighting the creative bankruptcy that exists in Hollywood. I'd much rather see an addition to the universe of Battlestar Galactica in the form of a continuation or a moment in time with room to explore and expound upon what's already been established. Fans have interest in a film covering the events of the First Cylon War, or perhaps a story centering around the rebel Centurion Cylons that, with their new freedom, went off to find a new life for themselves out in the universe at the end of Moore's series. Battlestar Galactica is unique in that it ends up telling the story of our own history, so it could be interesting to see either of these projects take place on Earth itself, far into our future. The cycle of violence between man and machine was a major theme of Moore's series, so it wouldn't be a stretch to see humans eventually come to enslave intelligent machines that inevitably rise up, inciting a brand new conflict. These stories wouldn't necessarily contradict Moore's series, with the possible exception of whether or not they decided to cover the First Cylon War. If that was the case, there would definitely need to be caution if well-known characters were to be featured. And while Esmail and Kinberg have both maintained the stance that their respective installments aren't reboots of Moore's Battlestar Galactica series, there has never been any mention of whether that also includes the short-lived prequel series, Caprica. Considering that particular series was cancelled early on, I wonder if either producer would consider retelling the story of the creation and subsequent rebellion of the Cylons on Caprica, especially considering the fact that there was a lot left unexplored, particularly the uprising of machines and the war that followed. I'm glad that both projects are on the same page in regards to previous installments and that they have been maintaining communication so as to have some level of synergy between the two. Of course, whether or not they nail the execution of these projects remains to be seen. They certainly have their work cut out for them and some giant shoes to fill, given the popularity of both Glenn A. Larson's original and Ronald D. Moore's reimagined series. But I'm curious to know, what do you think about this update from Simon Kinberg? How do you feel about the prospect of new additions to the Battlestar Galactica franchise? Do you have any theories or any storylines you would like to see covered in a new film and series? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did, and be sure to subscribe for more Battlestar Galactica and other sci-fi and fantasy news and lore. Thank you all so much for your support, and as always, have a very nerdy day.